This video explores rules, what they do, and how to design, implement, and test them over the life cycle of a project. Business rules enforce database integrity on RESTful update requests, derivations, and validations. Rules are expressed using a combination of spreadsheet-like reactive logic and server-side JavaScript events. You start using your existing methodology. For example, an agile approach might identify the epic order processing, the user story place order, and the task check credit. It's good practice to define topics for tasks. These will enable you to trace requirements to rules. Topics are rich text, so can contain hyperlinks to your other project artifacts. Now, spec out, elaborate, check credit. This follows the classic stepwise definition of terms. The balance must be less than the credit limit, where the balance is the sum of the unpaid order amount totals, where the amount total is the sum of the line item amounts, where the amount is the discounted price times the quantity, where the price is copied from the product. Reactive logic is expressed as expressions, or more powerfully functions, attached to tables and columns, which is exactly what our spec is, so we can enter it directly like this. Let's delete these two rules so we can see how to re-enter them. Okay, the line item amount is a formula. Its value is derived from other attributes in that row and from parent rows. The rule wizard provides a link to show all the rule types, with links to related detailed documentation. The amount rule is entered in JavaScript. Note, you can use expression help for attribute names. You can also link the rule to the topics it implements. The balance is a sum of the related purchase order rows. We just complete this form, selecting the relationship, the summed column, and the qualification condition. A rule is very much like a spreadsheet cell formula. It reacts by watching for changes in reference data. So the balance is increased when an order is placed, it's decreased when an order is deleted or paid, and it's adjusted when the order's amount total is changed, or the order is assigned to a new customer. It turns out that the order object actually does most of the work, watching for changes and issuing the SQL to access the customer. We'll see how this is optimized in a moment. Also, as in a spreadsheet, rules can chain. Our balance references the amount total itself derived. The other rules are entered similarly. And as it turns out, we're actually done. Unlike procedural code, where you need to call it in the proper order, reactive logic is declarative. That means it's automatically invoked, ordered, and optimized when changes occur on their reference data. Even better, rules are attached to the data, not to a particular user story or service. That means that the system can reuse them across stories. So, instead of hundreds of lines of code, these 5 rules completely address all of our 12 user stories. Let's illustrate that. Instead of placing an order, let's change one. We can use the REST lab to retrieve some line items, select one, alter it, and put it back. We see in the log that the system has fired the rules for the amount total, and balance. We also see that the automated SQL was efficient. Here, a one-row update, not an expensive select sum. We noted earlier that rules are automatically ordered. This pays off in maintenance and in iterations. Instead of spending most of your time analyzing code to determine where to make the changes, you just change the rules. The system parses them to determine the dependencies, and constructs a new order of operations automatically on every change. Rules are great, but they don't address elements outside your domain, such as sending messages. For those, you can use events. Events are JavaScript routines attached to tables, and they fire as each row of a multi-row request is processed. The API server converts resource rows into table rows, so the logic is reused. Choose the event that fires when you want. Early events fire before rules. Normal events fire after rules, or commit events fire after all the rows are processed. The system provides important JavaScript context so you can process the row, access related data, and read-write other data. You can also invoke other JavaScript software, including loadable libraries. And you can invoke web services such as REST and SOAP as illustrated in this B2B example. So that's it for rules. Thanks for your time.
For more detailed information about CA Live API Creator, click the information bubble in the top right corner to load the products page. From there, you can go to product documentation, visit the CA communities, or see the learning path.